Hey, it's Norm from Testing, and for today's show and tell, I want to talk to you about a device I've been testing for the past couple of weeks. I borrowed this from a friend. It's called the Radian, and it's a device for shooting time-lapse video. So last year, we tested an app for the iPhone for iOS called Frameographer. Actually, it was called Frames when it first launched, and it was made by the people called at Studio Neat, who make the Glyph, which is a iPhone mount, which lets you shoot time lapses. But these time lapses I shot, they're great, were static time lapses. I could just put my phone, put it on the Glyph, mount it on a tripod, and let it run all day, power plugged in, and watch the sunrise, sunfall, or me build a Lego project. What professionals use when they shoot time lapses, though, they want to shoot moving time lapses. So they have dollies and other devices, and that's what the Radian does. The Radian allows you to shoot movable time lapses. It actually pans your camera around at set intervals that you can set on your phone using an app, and so you can get a time lapse like a sunrise, like a sunset, like building Lego, but with movement over the course of the video, steady movement. And so here's how it works. This device, which is basically just a fancy stepper motor with a bunch of inputs and outputs, has a battery inside. You charge it, and they say it'll last for 10 hours. In my experience, that's about right. And it has your standard 1/4-inch thread tripod mount on the bottom, which works with the Glyph. So I put the Glyph on the Radian, screw it on tight, no problem, and then I put my iPhone on the Radian and just run the Frameographer app. Radian also comes with its own app, which lets me configure the degree of panning throughout the video, how long I want that pan to last, whether I want my time lapse to be over 2 hours, 5 hours, or 8 hours, or whatever, and how many pictures to take over that duration. And all of these are customizable. What's cool is that you can not only set the degree you want to pan and the duration of your time lapse, but also you can ramp up the speed. So you can say pan faster, do a faster time lapse for the first 15 degrees, then slow it down for the next 30 degrees, and then ramp it up again, and you have a curve. And that's all done with the Radian app. And then you tether your phone to the Radian using an included 2.5mm jack, and that just sends a signal to the Radian, stores it in. It's not a Bluetooth connection, which I'm a little bummed about. Uses actually the phone's headphone jack, which is another cool analog to digital signal conversion, and let it run. Turn the Radian on, turn the phone on, run my Frameographer app, and I tested this outdoors, indoors, at day and at night, and I got pretty steady time lapses. It's a pretty neat stepper motor. The Radian also, on the bottom, has its own 1/4-inch thread, so you can mount this on a tripod, which is very helpful if you want to use a DSLR with the Radian, which you can also do. So I put my camera, the 60, on the Radian, put this on a tripod, and then shot time lapses in city streets, and you can actually remote triggering. So obviously there's no app for my DSLR to shoot time lapses. Instead, I have it set, so I bought this cable, your standard, I think it's an N3 3-prong cable, plug that into the Radian, and then it sends a signal to my camera, and it'll snap a JPEG at whatever interval I want it to, and then you can composite that in After Effects or Lightroom, and you have a really high-quality time-lapse. The Radian was project funded on Kickstarter, and when they sold it, it was $150. They're not selling any more right now, but they plan on ramping up a second round of production relatively soon. It holds about 15 pounds of your camera. My camera's nowhere near that. But if you want to actually do a vertical time lapse, they also sell an L bracket for $40, where you can mount your DSLR to and then shoot a vertical time lapse. Of course, that puts more weight on the stepper motor, so you're only going to be able to shoot with cameras about 5 pounds or under. I think it's a really neat product. I haven't seen a motion time-lapse device that is so simple to use and relatively cheap. Dollies cost north of several $100s, and definitely be on the lookout for when this goes on sale again. The company that sells it is called Alpine Labs, and when it goes on sale, I definitely will be buying one for myself. So that's the Radian. I've tested with both the iPhone and a DSLR, and here are some time lapses. We'll see you next time on another show and tell. Bye.